blessing is moving toward you with the weight of something that has been gathering for a long time. Not a small thing, not a casual thing, not a kindness sent at the last minute to soften a hard week. Something heavy, something prepared, something arranged in layers you cannot see, by hands that have been working long before you knew you would need any of it. You feel it before you can name it. Around you, the air is different, quieter in a way you did not ask for, slower in places that used to rush. There is a settling happening underneath the noise of your life, and you keep mistaking the settling for delay. It is not delay. It is the moment before the wave reaches the shore, when the water pulls back and looks for a second like it is leaving. It is not leaving. It is gathering. You have been standing on this shore longer than you wanted to. Waiting has done something to you. Some of it cruel, some of it strange, some of it unrecognizably tender, though you would not have used that word at the time. You learned to keep getting up. You learned to keep praying when no one applauded. You learned to ask quietly, because asking loudly had stopped working. What is coming knows about every one of those mornings. It has been shaped by them. It is the right size for who you have become through the wait, not the size you would have chosen on the day the wait began. Put your hand on your chest right now, not as a gesture, as an honest acknowledgement that your heart has been a faithful instrument through all of this, beating its way through fear and grief and stretches of nothing at all. Feel it under your palm. That rhythm is the only thing that didn't stop. Everything else slowed, paused, scattered, returned in a different shape. Only the heartbeat stayed, and what is coming knows that heartbeat by name. You have spent a long time wondering whether you deserved any of this to turn out well. You have measured yourself against people who seem to be living in a brighter timeline. You have counted your missed steps until the counting became a kind of prayer in reverse. Stop counting. What is gathering for you does not know how to speak in the language of merit. It speaks the older language, a language of arrival, a language of what was set aside before there was anything to earn or fail to earn. You are not standing at the cashier of heaven holding up your receipts. You are standing at a doorway, and the doorway has been waiting for you longer than you have been waiting for it. Hear it once. What is coming has already been released. Release happened at the level of decision, in a place you do not have access to, on a day no calendar of yours can locate. Travel is the part you are watching now. Travel is what feels like the wait, but the release is finished. Motion has begun. It is not still being decided. That part is over. There is a difference between something being decided and something arriving, and most of the suffering of the wait happens in the gap between those two events. Something decided carries the certainty of what is already real. Something arriving has the texture of what is not yet visible. Your nervous system was not built to hold both of those at once with comfort. It was built to seek arrival as fast as possible, and to read non-arrival as evidence that the decision has not happened, or has been reversed, or never existed in the first place. None of those readings are true here. A decision happened. Reversal did not. Arrival is on its slow, deliberate way, and slowness is not a comment on whether you matter. Slowness is a comment on what is being prepared, and on the architecture of timing that surrounds you whether you can see it or not. Something inside you wants to argue with that. There is a part of you that has been protecting itself by refusing to believe good news in advance. You have done that for understandable reasons. You have been disappointed before in ways that took months to recover from. You learned that hope, expressed too early, costs more than it pays. So you have kept your face neutral when good things were mentioned. You have whispered your real wishes in rooms where no one could hear you. Neutrality has kept you upright. It has also kept you small. What is arriving does not need your neutrality anymore. It needs a piece of your hope, even a piece you do not entirely trust yet. Not every door that is closed in your life was the same kind of door. Some were closed against you on purpose, by people who would not have wished you well, even if it had cost them nothing. Some were closed by your own hand, in a season when you did not yet know what you were turning away from. And some, most of them really, were closed by something gentler than rejection and stranger than fortune. They were closed because the room behind them was the wrong room. You were not refused. You were redirected. Redirection looked like rejection only because you did not see the door that was opening at the same time, far enough away that it did not feel like a corresponding event. It is hard to live inside redirections that you can only read backward. At the time they happen, they look like loss. They look like negative space. They look like an absence where there was supposed to be a presence. Only later, sometimes years later, do you stand in the place that was reserved for you and look back at the closed door and realize that the closing was the protective gesture you were not equipped to understand at the moment it occurred. You can give yourself permission now, while the next door is opening, to revise your interpretation of the older closings. They were not punishments. They were part of the same shaping that is bringing you to where you stand now. You have been walking toward that other door for longer than you realize. Every detour led there. Every loss redirected your attention there. Every prayer that seemed unanswered was being answered in the slow, structural way that prayers about your future are usually answered. Not in the dramatic exchange you imagined, where you ask and a hand reaches down and places the thing in front of you. In the slower way, where you ask and the world begins, very quietly, to rearrange itself around the asking. Rearrangement takes time, because it involves more than you. It involves people you have not met yet. It involves circumstances that were not yet ripe. It involves rooms in your own heart that needed to be cleared first, so that what was arriving would not arrive into clutter. What is coming knows all of this. It is not impatient with you for not seeing it. It is not annoyed with you for asking again. It is moving at the speed of being ready, which is slower than the speed of wanting and faster than the speed of giving up. You are not behind. You are exactly inside the timing of something that could not have come earlier without breaking under its own weight. There is also a quiet conversation happening around you that you have not been part of, and that conversation is slowly turning. People who carry a piece of your blessing in their hands, without yet knowing you exist, are softening in directions that will eventually meet your direction. A door in someone else's life is opening at the right pace so that when you walk into your room of arrival, the person who needs to be in that room is also arriving from the other side. You have spent enough nights praying about your own readiness without realizing that the readiness of the rest of the system has been the slower variable. This world is large. It does not move on the timetable of any single heart, but it does move. And the parts that needed to move on your behalf have been moving the whole time. You do not have to engineer the meeting. You do not have to script the conversation. You do not have to manufacture a strategy for how to position yourself next to the right people, the right opportunities, the right unfolding of events. Arranging is being done by an intelligence larger than your strategies. Your strategies have been useful for the part of the work that is yours to do. Another part, the part that involves the timing of other people's arrivals into your life, is not yours to engineer. Lay that part down. You have been carrying it like a second job. That second job is over. There is a particular kind of grief that comes from having waited so long that you stopped imagining the arrival in any specific way. You let go of the picture. You decided it was healthier not to rehearse it. That was wisdom of a kind. It protected you. But it also left you a little stunned now on the threshold, because you do not know how to receive what you stopped picturing. Let the unknowing be part of it. You do not have to picture it correctly. You only have to keep the door of your life unlocked. What is coming will know how to enter without your permission to imagine it. That picture you let go of was a smaller picture anyway. You imagine the arrival in the